Good evening, everybody, and happy Wednesday night to you. Excited to be with you for New York Mets baseball as they go for the sweep. We've got our brooms ready for the potential sweep of the Pirates here tonight. Clay Holmes will be pitching for the Mets. We're going to go over lineup. We'll be with you from start to finish of this game and seeing if the Mets can continue this winning streak that they are now on. Good evening to all of you, whether you're watching live or on replay. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are MetropoliFins, your YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. Let's go Mets, baby. You better believe it, Lane. Good evening to you. Vitalik, good evening to you. So excited to be here with you. And hopefully, once again, the Mets will just continue to win. The Mets are looking loose in the dugout as Pete Alonso is dancing and hanging out. Clay Holmes will be pitching for the Mets here tonight. We're going to give you lineups and all of that good stuff here in just a moment as you come on in. Before we get started, though, just want to give a special shout out and thank you to our patrons who are helping make this possible. Specifically, Byford the Hobbit and Darren Rivera. Thank you guys for being patrons of this small channel. If you want to support this channel, then a way that you can do that very easily is to join the Patreon yourself. You're going to get early access to new videos, including the one that's going to be coming out early access tonight. 3 up and 3 down, as we'll be talking about 3 teams that are up and are down to start the season. There is the link to the Patreon in the chat. It's also in the description for watching on replay. If you're not able or don't want to do the Patreon, that's perfectly fine. You're welcome to be here as well. But just a special thank you to those who do support the channel and allow me the opportunity to bring more and hopefully better content as time goes by to you. All right, getting to everything that we need to know for the game here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and bring up all the lineups for you so you can know exactly who's hitting, who's pitching. So, first of all, Clay Holmes is pitching for the Mets today. This game was delayed by rain for about 15 minutes, so looking to get started here in the next 2 to 3 minutes, something like that. But we are just about ready to get rolling. I'm just trying to see if they have... Trying to get everything up on the screen here. Here we go. All right. The Mets starting lineup tonight. Lindor will be leading off at short. Vientos is moving up to the 2-hole tonight. What does that mean? That means to start the game, at least, Juan Soto is going to be on the bench today. And so just a day off for Soto. I don't think he's taken a day off. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Mets are home today. Yes, NFL schedule comes out at 8. We're going to do a Dolphins stream after this game is over here tonight, so we will have that. So, yeah, it's really weird not having Lindor, Soto, Alonso as the top 3. But you've got Juan Soto, Brett Beatty, Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez. They're going to all be your bench for today. So it's a really nice bench that the Mets have if needed late in the game. Anyway, Lindor leading off at short. Vientos hitting second at third base. Alonso third at first base. Nimmo is 4th in left field. Starling Marte is designated hitter, batting 5th. Luis Torrens is catching and hitting 6th. Tyrone Taylor is 7th in center field. Luis Angel Acuna is second base and hitting 8th. And Zokar gets the start tonight in right field. So I would say it's definitely a weaker hitting lineup overall tonight. You know, when you don't have Soto, you don't have Beatty. I'm kind of actually surprised with how red hot Beatty's been that they've taken out of this game. And Francisco Alvarez, Jeff McNeil. But it's a splendid bench. This bench is better than some teams' starting lineups for sure tonight. So, yeah. So they're saying everything's set to go at 7:25. It's supposed to be 7:05 start. They're saying 7:25. Vitalik. So I don't know. Yep. Starling Marte gets to play. You're happy today, Red Man. Happy today. Call up Brandon Sproat. Not yet. Not yet. They'll find a spot. There's a chance maybe on Sunday we'll see a guy come up, or the Mets will have a bullpen game or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. All right, the Pirates starting lineup, just really briefly. O'Neal Cruz is not playing again tonight. He's still recovering from his injury. So leading off will be Adam Frazier, followed by Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, Joey Bart, who's hitting really well this season, spring training legend Alexander Canario, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's been close to torturing the Mets this series, but Mets have been able to survive, and then Gorski, and then Ji-Hwan Bae, and Triolo. So this starting lineup for the Pirates tonight, they only have 3 hitters hitting 250 or higher. That's McCutcheon's hitting 252, Joey Bart 273, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is hitting 275. So they're saying 725. Yep, which is right now. This game is about to begin here. Any second. Here it is. First pitch by Clay Holmes. This is a strike. So we are on. Game is on. They were good. They said 725 start, and first pitch came maybe 726, but not bad at all. So we are good. We are live with the game. All sorts of things going on today. All right. No balls, 2 strikes to Frazier here. And he gets him swinging 3 pitches, and we got a strikeout right away. So Clay Holmes is pitching on 4 days rest for the first time this season. He'd been on 5 days rest leading up till now. So this is part of his stretching out process of trying to do it. Now, Kodai Senga is going to remain on a 6-man rotation, but everybody else will be going to 5, so that's why occasionally the Mets are going to need a starter. First pitch to McCutcheon is a swing and a miss. So we have 4 pitches, 4 strikes so far. So we're excited to be here with you tonight. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on the journey to 500 subscribers. Next checkpoint in is going to be 300. We're trying to get to 500 by the time we get to the All-Star break. All right. Here's the 0-1 pitch to McCutcheon after a little bit of a delay here. That's a strike at the bottom of the zone. No balls, 2 strikes. 5 pitches, 5 strikes. So I feel like this is a night where the Mets can't afford to get behind. This is going to be popped up out to left field. Swimmo, Brandon Nimmo. Quite comfortable in the rain. The fish that he is. And he makes the catch in left field. And there's going to be 2 quick outs here in the top of the first. 6 pitches in. 2 outs. All right, Midnight's got a recommendation for all of you. I'm going to post it on the screen. I won't read the whole thing just to not get censored by the YouTube overlords. But so it's regarding world events and a beautiful moment that takes place during a Mets-Phillies game, May 1st, 2011. That's the first ball of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brian Reynolds. Thank you for the recommendation, Midnight. Here's a grounder to Vientos. Throws it over to first, and we have a 1-2-3 inning quickly in the books. And it is nothing. Mets already going to the bottom of the first inning. Now, it is strange. It is not your normal top 3 in the lineup tonight because Soto is getting at least the day off. I haven't heard anything about an injury, so I think it's just a maintenance day off. I'm going to just double check here. Yep, no cause for concern. Manager Carlos Mendoza explained that Soto's just getting some rest. It wasn't an easy conversation to convince Soto to take a seat after appearing in the team's first 43 games. Obviously, when you're talking about a player's caliber, they want to be in the lineup, playing in the big picture, the long game here. You're going to be down. I told him you're going to be down. Met skipper said he wanted to take advantage of Soto and extended break. Right. And I think this is to make sure Soto is fully ramped up and ready to go for this Yankees series. So I think this is This is a very strategic. So no injury with Soto, just a maintenance day, and with the day off tomorrow, it's a kind of a perfect chance to give him a 2-day break, get him rested up. Knows he's going to be hyped up for the Yankee series. All right, Kansas City Chiefs, best team. Eagles fans would probably disagree with you, Red Man, but I definitely would not want to face the Chiefs. If the Mets win tonight, I have to make a rap video. Not quite so sure about that. Can the Mets send down Jose Azocar? They will whenever someone comes back. If Winker comes back or Siri comes back first, that would be my guess. But Azocar gets to start tonight, so if you haven't gotten to see him play, but you got Soto, Beatty, McNeil, and Alvarez as the bench tonight. So plenty of good pinch hitting options. Will it rain at the game tonight? I'm not a weatherman nor a fortune teller, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's rain around there. Gerald, hope Soto. I think Soto's going to be revved up and ready to go. Happy to be back in the short porch Little League ballpark that is Yankee Stadium. Not very often you get to see Mets and Phillies fans getting along. Yeah, but Azocar is easily replaceable. I don't think there's any like. No one's going to be crying if. I mean, is anyone even going to pick up Azocar? First pitch to Francisco Lindor is a strike. So it's Lindor, Vientos, Alonso. Vientos is in the 2-hole tonight. So that's inside to Lindor. 1 ball and 1 strike. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't pick a much better spot in the majors to be than sandwiched between Lindor and Alonso. Even though they both threw up offers last night, you certainly don't expect that. This is just a one-time thing, guys. No panic, no injury on Soto. We already looked it up. It's just a maintenance day, and because you can get today plus tomorrow, so you get 2 days of rest. And I guarantee you Soto will be in there for all 3 games of the Yankee series. That's just outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Lindor. So no fear, Mets fans. Soto is perfectly fine. This is just a regular maintenance day. This is the first day all season Soto's not been in the lineup. Lindor rips this one, but Canario is going to be there to get it. It's going to be 1 out here in the bottom of the first. I thought he got that better, but I think it kind of died right as he hit it. But so Joey Bart is actually catching tonight. He's been designated hitter the last couple of days. Who's pitching for the Mets? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We can look that up here. There is a first pitch. Curveball hit to left field for a base hit for Vientos. So there you go. Vientos' bat just keeps getting hotter and hotter, guys. Over the last 10 games, Vientos is hitting over 400. Over 400. Yeah, McGill is Friday, Canning is Saturday, and Peterson is Sunday. That's this weekend. Sounds good, Midnight. We'll talk to you in a bit. One ball, no strikes to Pete Alonso here. Welcome, everybody. Glad that you guys are here tonight. Nothing Mets. Bottom of the first. Pete rips that one foul down the third baseline. They got the Pete Alonso chance going. So Mark Vientos is on first with a 1-out single. For those of you just tuning in, you're not hallucinating. Juan Soto is not playing tonight. No injury, just a maintenance rest day. So Vientos gets the 2-hole tonight. That's high and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Pete's cooled off for the last week. He's kind of been struggling to. That's a pitch there. He's fouled away. But that's kind of the swing he was not making earlier in the season. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pete Alonso. Well, I'm not sure if Senga's going to pitch on Monday. I know they're saying that right now, but he pitched last night, right? Which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, I guess he would. He gets his 5 days rest because the day off. So yeah, Senga will have Red Sox on Monday. So the day off helps. Alonso pops this up foul. It's going to get out of play. It's going to remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yep. Kodai Senga will have that, and then Clay Holmes will be the Tuesday game. That's your rotation. Still not heard any official return dates on any of the Mets injured pitchers. So at this point, still rolling with these 5 guys. Alonso rips that one foul. Sarbaugh was able to get out of the way, our third base coach. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 pitch once again to Pete Alonso. Alonso fouls that one back. Pete the Met. So we're already a 7-pitch at bat here. Yep, I agree. I agree, Redman. It's a good at bat. Are you talking about Brandon Waddell? Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's fouled back. So that's 9 pitches in the at bat. All right, here's the 10th pitch of this Pete Alonso at bat. That's inside. It's a walk. So it's going to give the Mets 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Yep, patience. Patience, patience. Like the Mets. Yeah, I do. I know not everybody likes them. I'm fine with them. That actually reminds me, I don't have my jersey on yet. Maybe I better not put it on yet because the Mets are doing well. Wear my blue shirt here tonight. All right, here's Swimmo Brandon Nimmo at the plate. He takes the first pitch high. 1 ball, no strikes. I agree. Red Man. That's high to Nimmo. 2 balls, no strikes. Bailey Falter is pitching here tonight. I'm just checking his game logs here. Yeah, Falter did really well against the Braves last week. He did 6 innings of 2-hit ball. 2 hits, 2 walks, and a shutout. Got the win against Atlanta. So if the Mets could get on top here, that would be good. All right, here's the 2-0 to Nimmo. That's going to be popped foul and get out about 10 or 12 rows deep into the stands. You love Brandon Nimmo's defense more than Brandon Nimmo batting? Oh man, September 1st is so far away, Lane. I would have to imagine if he's not already on the roster and he's healthy, then you would see Ronnie Mauricio by September when you gain the extra spot. It might be Sprode and Mauricio, but they also could be up due to other circumstances. This is fly to shallow left field. Kanara's going to make the catch. That's going to be 2 outs. Welsh, how's it going? You can watch Redman. You can watch Brandon Nimmo rob home runs all day. All right, Starling Marte now coming up. So it is an off night for quite a few. Yeah, I mean, I think that's who it could be, but September's so far away. There's a chance both those guys could be on the roster before then, but you don't call them up now. No rush, no panic. Sneaky double steal, silver size. Yeah, that's a lot of S's. Sneaky double steal, silver skyscraper. Yeah, highly unlikely with Vientos on second and Pete. That would be sneaky. It's just a bit inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Marte. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Marte. Fouled off down the first base line. 2 balls, 1 strike. Sorry, Marte's your favorite player. Well, enjoy starting today. Is that how New York media is presenting it, Lounge Zinger? That he was upset and fighting with Mendoza? Carlos Mendoza said it wasn't an easy conversation. But anything more than that is just New York media trying to stir up drama. Like anything with Juan Soto, anything. The New York media is going to just try to stir up things. Don't get caught up in it. I don't even care. Like it literally doesn't matter. He's not playing because Mendoza doesn't want him to play tonight. So Mendoza's the manager. Don't worry. Soto will be in all 3 games this weekend. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Marte coming up. Already 25 pitches deep. That's popped foul. It's going to get out of play once again. Three-two pitch is fouled back by Marte once again. So great job battle in this first inning. Getting to see a bunch of pitches by Bailey Falter. Yep, absolutely. Anything more than like him wanting to play because he wants to play, like that's a normal reaction. And that's a walk to Marte. Great job by Marte. Nice patient at bat. Bases loaded for the Mets. 2 outs, bottom of the first. Luis Torrens coming to the plate. That is, yeah, he's up to 28 pitches now in the first inning. Big fat pitch count. Right, exactly. So the Mets bench tonight is beautiful, guys. The Mets bench is Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, Juan Soto, and Brett Baty. There's a swing and a miss. No balls and two strike to Torrens. Mets with the bases loaded. Yes, exactly. It's good to see him. Good to see Torrens back after his unfortunate mishap on Sunday. All right, 30 pitches for Bailey Falter so far. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Torrens. Inside, one ball and two strikes. Starling Marte is awesome. Starling Marte is a former Pittsburgh Pirate facing his old team. Goes down swinging, and that is going to retire the Mets in the first inning. They're going to leave the bases loaded, but they get through 31 pitches, I believe, is the pitch count. So we're going to go to the top of the second inning. It's 0-0. Starling Marte is your favorite player. Awesome. All right, hold on. I'll be right back with you guys in like 10 seconds. So I hope everybody is doing awesome here. We're going to see if Clay Holmes can keep things rolling. This is Clay Holmes' first start of the season on 4 days rest. He had been on the Senga 5-day rest rotation, but obviously, if you can keep him on 4 days rest, you get a couple more starts out of him. Maybe you can tax the bullpen just a little bit less as well. Yeah, I wouldn't get too angry about it yet, Redman. They're winning. They're getting base runners. And this lineup tonight is not an offensive lineup. It's a very conservative defensive and sub lineup tonight. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I don't want to say this game doesn't matter at all, but Mendoza is setting up this game tonight as he cares more about being ready for the Yankees series than he does about winning this individual game. That's why what I read from all this roster configuration and lineup configuration tonight. He wants Soto to be fully rested going into the series. You know, Francisco Alvarez be ready for Friday and Saturday's game for sure. Get a Zokar in there. Let him start a game. So that's my read. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you think something different, but I think the read is try to give some guys some rest. If the Mets get off to a big lead at a certain point here, you know, maybe some other guys will get subbed out or rotated out. But first pitch to Joey Bart here in the top of the second is a called strike. That's a ball way inside over Bart's head. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a ball just top of the zone, I guess. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's a fly ball to right field. A Zokar gets under it. So used to saying Soto out in right field, but a Zokar gets under it, makes the catch. It's going to be 1 out. The wind looks like it's still really whipping, and the rain is still falling. Canario grounds it to third. Viento makes the play across the diamond. That's going to be 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Still a 0-0 score. First pitch to Kiner Falefa is a strike down the middle. No balls, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to Kiner Falefa. Let's see what we got going on here. We're going to do a full scoreboard update here. There's a pair of doubleheaders going on in the majors today. So we'll go over all of that. Looks like the rain is coming down a little harder now, too. That's going to fall in to left field as a 2-out single. So we're going to see what's going to happen with this weather, because obviously I'm going to go check the weather app and see what it's looking like. So they got the game started here. Looks like these are just passing showers, but it is raining pretty heavy so far. So, no balls and 2 strikes to Gorski here. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gorski. Oh, that looked like a strike, but didn't make the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's also top of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The one before looked like a strike. That one was probably a ball. So Clay Holmes trying to get out of this inning. The rain is falling. Everyone's throwing their ponchos on. But I'm looking at the radar. There's not much in the area right now. So it looks like to just be a passing remnant of a shower. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to lead to a delay in this game. But I'm sure Clay Holmes would rather be. That's a wild, wild pitch. Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, the rain is coming down really hard. But I'm like looking at the radar, there's just nothing. I wonder if we're going to get a rain delay, though. So we'll see. I mean, it is absolutely downpouring there right now, guys. This cannot be fun. Foul back. Cannot be fun for anyone, but yeah, it's like I'm literally looking at the radar. There's only like a few showers around. It must be, yeah, they'll do a rain delay whenever they need to. I mean, they usually try to finish the at-bat. But I mean, it's heavy rain right now. I'm sure they don't want to put the tarp out because that's like a 15-minute delay. That's driven out to deep left field, and that's gone. That's a home run. I'm sure Clay Holmes is not happy about pitching in this rain. That's a home run for the Pirates and 2-0 lead. Clay Holmes looks absolutely disgusted by having to pitch in this. So apparently you can hit in the rain, but pitching in the rain's a lot tougher. They're going to keep pushing through. This just can't be fun at all for Clay Holmes. G1 Bay is now up. It's 1-1 strike. Yeah, I'm just kind of watching this. All right, I gotta get the jersey on here. I'll get the jersey on, see if we can do this. G1 Bay flies this one. Deep center field, but Tyrone Taylor gets out there, and the inning is over. We'll see. If there's a rain delay after this inning, like if we come back to a rain delay, I'm not going to be happy about that. Because whatever this rain is, looks like it is passing quickly, but Clay Holmes did not look comfortable out there, and I honestly don't blame him. That could not have been fun to pitch. And especially, I'm just thinking like those infielders and outfielders just standing there. That had to be no fun at all. Well, regardless, it is 2-0 Pirates over the Mets going to the bottom of the second inning. We're going to go ahead and do a scoreboard update of all the games that have happened or are happening now. So you had a pair of doubleheaders today. Cardinals played the Phillies in a doubleheader. Game 1, the Phillies won 2-1. Game 2, the Cardinals are leading the Phillies 9-7. So Game 1 was a pitcher's duel. Game 2 looks like a home run derby. So that's what we have for that. Other games. Red Sox and Tigers are tied at 2 in the 6th. Rays and Blue Jays tied 0-0 in the 4th. Nationals lead the Braves 1-0 in the 3rd. White Sox lead the Reds 1-0 in the 3rd. Of course, the Pirates lead this game 2-0. Marlins over the Cubs 1-0 in the 2nd. Rockies and Rangers are warming up, as well as the Royals and the Astros. The 9:40 game tonight is Angels and Padres, and the 10:10 game is Athletics and Dodgers. By the way, the Athletics pretty soundly beat the Dodgers yesterday. It was a very impressive victory. And a couple other games in the books. You've got the Brewers beat the Guardians 9-5. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 8-7. Yankees beat the Mariners 3-2. And the Twins swept a doubleheader. They beat the Orioles 8-6 and 6-3. So, the Twins, I believe, now are on a 10-game winning streak. Might be the longest winning streak in baseball this season. So we're not in a rain delay per se, but they are doing field maintenance. So it's kind of a rain delay, but not in the sense of putting the tarp on the field. They're trying to dry out everything. Yeah, I know he said that, but I don't know. Just to me overall, and I mean, I'm not going to question Ron Darling. He's the pro and I'm not. But overall, I mean, his pitches were looking pretty unhittable. So basically, we're just in a delay. I don't want to call it a rain delay per se. They're just getting the field ready, putting probably that diamond dry stuff down, trying to just dry out all the wet spots on the infield. So while we're doing all of this, we're just waiting for the game to restart here. So I can just kind of show you. I'll pause the screen just so you can kind of see. It is just a bunch of workers out on the field. The tarp is not on the field. So this is what's going on just right now. So you got just trying to dry out all the major areas of the field, by the bases, by home plate, by the mound. You just got a bunch of little busy bee workers going here. So that's what we are currently waiting on. So it's like a weather delay, I guess, in that sense, but it's not a rain delay. Like there's no tarp on the field or anything like that. So just kind of boring, not too much to talk about. Let's see. So I do know NFL schedules are coming out, right? So let's see if they just released. I thought it was supposed to come out around 8 o'clock, but you guys let me know if they officially released the NFL schedule. So since we're on a weather delay, we can kind of talk about whatever. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, we got to fill in the time here for a few minutes. All right, so we're still just waiting for this game to restart. You get Gary and Ron are just talking, lots of camera shots, people in the crowd having fun. So you guys let me know what else you guys want to talk about. I'm just trying to see if there's any schedule release. All right, we got week one of the NFL. All right, so we're going to do this while we wait for the game to begin. I think this came out. No, this just came out. At least they're saying it came out at 8 p.m. Here's week one, NFL week one schedule release. I'll put it up on the screen for you here. Thursday night football is going to be Cowboys at the Eagles. Friday, September 5th, Chiefs and Chargers. Game just started again here, so we'll run through this really quick. Then you got Raiders at Patriots, Steelers at Jets, Dolphins at Colts. So not unlike the NFL, to not give the Dolphins a home game that first week when it's actually hot in Miami. The Arizona Cardinals at the Saints, Giants at the Commanders, Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Cincinnati Bengals at the Browns, Buccaneers at Falcons, Titans at Broncos, 49ers, Seahawks, Lions, Packers, Texans, Rams. Tyrone Taylor just struck out. Ravens, Bills. The Monday night game is Vikings at the Bears. All right. Back to the action now. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. Luis Angel Acuna at the plate. That's inside to Acuna. 1 ball, no strikes. So that was maybe like a 10-minute delay. Gave us time to at least go through week 1 of the schedule. There's a strike to Acuna. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zokar on deck tonight. The Mets are definitely going with the not ideal offense tonight. Soto on the bench. Beatty, McNeil, and Alvarez. So those are your 4 bench players tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Acuna. 1 out here at the bottom of the second. Pirates are up 2-0. Acuna goes chasing. Acuna's plate discipline's kind of been off here the last couple of days or so. Maybe the last week. Yeah, he's just chasing. That was a bad swing and a bad. He swung on a high pitch, and the ball was about 2 inches higher than his bat on top of that. Zokar gets the start tonight. First pitch is a ball inside. .1-0 pitch is a strike. Curveball on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zokar's 5 for 17 on the season. For his sake, I think I'd rather him be in AAA where he can at least get some consistent reps. But that's inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. If it's actually true that he's out of options, I still don't think the Mets are going to feel like he's the type of guy that you have to hold on to. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's in the dirt. 3 balls, 1 strike. Lindor on deck. Vientos in the hole for the Mets. Should Zokar be able to extend this inning? That's a walk to Zokar. So the Mets get a 2-out base runner here. And Francisco Lindor is coming to the plate. And our friend Jonathan, also Dead Yell, known as Dead Yell, he said he was going to be at the game tonight. So wish you well, Jonathan. First pitch is a strike to Lindor. Darren says a 2-run homer for Lindor right here. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Zokar picked off of first base, and that's going to end the inning. Well, Lindor will lead off next inning. That's not what you want to do. Yeah, he took a step the wrong direction. He was a dead duck. So that's going to retire the Mets. So for those of you excited about the Mets not leaving runners on base, well, they didn't. They got their runner thrown out at first on a pickoff play. All right, so Clay Holmes will be coming back He will be pitching down 2-0 in the top of the third inning. Now, basically, the rain is gone now, too. It's kind of crazy. It just, like, dumped. It dumped heavy, like that last inning while Clay Holmes was pitching. And then as soon as the Mets came up, it stopped raining. And in that time, Clay Holmes gave up a one single 2-run home run. So we're on commercial break. You're not missing any of the action right now. Hopefully we're done with rain for the night here in New York. Due up for the Pirates this inning will be Triolo, and then back to the top of the order, Adam Frazier and Andrew McCutchen. And if any of them get on base, Brian Reynolds, followed by Joey Bart. I got some of the lights in the office were fixed today, so hopefully, at least this side looks a little brighter. I still need to get some more light coming from this angle here, I think. So that way I'm not quite as dark. I'm looking at some different options that might work with my setup. But hopefully that's coming through. Pictures a little bit clearer for you guys. First pitch is a strike. No balls, one strike. As Jared Triolo leads off the top of the third inning for the Pirates here tonight. Mets are going for the sweep, but coming out a little flat. Of course, the rain, the delayed start. Kind of a shorthanded lineup tonight. So there's a lot of things going into this. Obviously, we want to see the Mets get the win here, but it certainly feels like they're playing the Yankees series. This is flied out to right field. The Zokar gets under it, doesn't let getting picked off first affect him. And he's able to make the catch for one out in the top of the third inning. All right, Adam Frazier is up, the leadoff hitter for the Pirates. By 14:25. I'm on the wrong date. Am I on the wrong date again? All right. Hey, you're keeping me honest. At least I know someone's looking. I'm messing with you, Justin. It's intentional for you. See, I copy and paste, and then sometimes I'm in a rush. Like today, I was trying to get it set up right before I headed out the door to pick up the family. All right, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Just 9 months till Valentine's Day, guys. 9 months till Valentine's Day. All right, I got it fixed now. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Adam Frazier. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Frazier. He rips that one. Azokar's able to get there, though. It's back-to-back catches in right field for Azokar. Well, Justin, I'm glad that you found me anyway. Glad that you're here, and I hope you are doing well tonight. We got it fixed, so if the date bugs you, just refresh the screen. All right, Andrew McCutcheon coming to the plate with 2 outs. It's a 2-0 Pirates game. They scored 2 on a home run and an absolute downpour because it decided to rain like crazy last inning when the Mets were in the field. Thank you. Once again, my wife brought me coffee tonight, so now we've got the awesome wake up, stay awake juice. We'll be tracking some of the football schedule stuff while we go throughout the night here too. We already went through the week 1 games, and they're probably doing some show. Like, they're not going to release it all straight at 8 o'clock. Well, the Dolphins, thankfully, do not play on Thanksgiving, so we can't get blown out on Thanksgiving this year. Oh, it was horrible. It was like, I feel like that only happens because of the rain. So it's unfortunate what it is, but I'm not going to be like that upset about it. I'm just upset that it didn't keep raining like that when the Mets got up. There's a 2-2 pitch to McCutcheon's fouled away. So we're going to do, we might do a post-game stream, but we're also going to do an NFL stream after the game tonight, going through the Dolphins schedule. There's a swing and a miss by McCutcheon. And he is retired, so really just the one really bad pitch by Clay Holmes so far. This is Clay Holmes' first game on 4 days rest this season. You know, I understand this desire to win every single game, but like when you've got the record that the Mets have, it's like it's pretty easy to be like, look, we already won the series. I'd love a sweep, but honestly, the biggest thing about this game is that just nobody gets hurt. Let's go into Yankees Stadium fully healthy, right? And so that's pretty much my number one concern. We've already secured the series win. Let's just get out of this game healthy. It's like the last spring training game of the season. Like, does it matter? It matters in the sense that, yeah, you want everyone to do well, but it doesn't really matter. What matters more is get a little bit of rest. Yep, Soto's getting his 2-day rest. Beatty's going to get a 2-day rest here. McNeil's got a 2-day rest. Alvarez has a 2-day rest. I mean, this legit could be the last time Soto doesn't start, or the only time he doesn't start between now and the All-Star break. I mean, the truth is, with how top-heavy the National League is, you really do have to keep on winning. I mean, there's just no guarantee that there's going to be a wild card spot coming out of the NL East with how good the NL West has been, with the surging Cardinals. You know, you got to figure the Brewers probably going to at least make a run at some point in time. You know, it's like you can't afford to just give up a bunch of victories and say, oh, let's just get in. Let's get in as a wild card. There's like, I don't know. Like, it can happen. I certainly think there's a good chance the NL East will get 2 teams in, a division winner and a wild card. But at the same time, I would not feel comfortable. Like, oh, yeah, this is definitely going to happen. All right, Lindor is leading off in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lindor was up when Azócar got picked off badly. The 1-0 pitch to Lindor. Two balls, no strikes to Lindor. Mets are trying to put a rally together. Yeah, Mr. Smiles. Mr. Smiles. There's a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to Lindor. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's inside. Lindor's going to walk. So he's finally on base after struggling to get on base. Him and Pete both struggled to get on base yesterday. Yeah, probably. Probably was a ball. Hashman, how's it going? Yeah, I just don't think that Mendoza is super concerned about this win. It just the way he set the lineup tonight looks like he's more concerned about being healthy going into the Yankees series. That's just my take on it. It's like, because he didn't just sit one starter. He sat 3 starters tonight. Sat Beatty, Alvarez, and Juan Soto. And I mean, you could argue Jeff McNeil is a starter too in some capacities. So, I mean, obviously I want to win the game, but I don't feel like Mendoza was really playing. He wants to win the game, but he's not playing to all out go for the win. Vientos grounds it to short, and that's an easy double play. 6-4-3. Yeah, I mean, he can't say that, but that's just the way it looks to me. You know, and honestly, like there's the way that the Mets have been playing, we know they can win games 3-2 and 2-1. It's just unfortunate that Clay Holmes gave up a home run in the middle of a monsoon that lasted for 10 minutes and then went away. Oh, yeah, I'm not giving up on this game. I'm not giving up on it at all. The Mets need to get into the bullpen. They need to get this Bailey Falter guy out. I feel like if we can get into the Pirates bullpen, that's our best chance. And I mean, Bailey Falter's up to 54 pitches in the 3rd inning. So, one ball, one strike to Pete Alonso here at the plate. How you doing, Hashman, though? I appreciate you being with us here tonight. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, like the media around the Mets-Yankees game with Soto going from the Yankees to the Mets is going to be probably the most it's been in many years, maybe since the Subway Series. I don't know. Pete gives it a rip, but pops it up. And it gets out of play. Yep. Yeah, I agree. End of the 6th. I mean, I think we could even get him out by the 5th. I think we can get him out by the 5th if we can just work a couple more walks. His control has not been great tonight, so that works in his favor. I mean, he already has 4 walks so far tonight. All right, here's the 2-2 pitch to Pete. The fly ball, center field. Ji-Hwan Bae gets under it, and he is able to make a catch to retire the side. We're going to head to the top of the 4th inning. Still remains Pirates 2, Mets nothing. What we're going to keep doing in between on commercial breaks is we're going to dive into NFL schedule stuff as we can see it. So if any of you have great links, let me know. I got to just probably keep refreshing. We went through the week 1 schedule already. The Bills have one of the 5 most favorable schedules, I guess. It's amazing, right? So they just released the schedule, but NFL.com has all these articles already pre-written because they already know all this information. All right, 3 biggest takeaways. This is an NFL article. You guys just give me a team. Yeah. Oh, that's the NFC East. So the Dolphins play the Commanders in Spain. That's one of the home games the Dolphins lose. So let me just go here. We're going to do a separate video, but just to fill the gaps in tonight. All right, 3 biggest takeaways from the Dolphins schedule. By the way, here is the official Dolphins schedule. Week 1 at the Colts, Week 2 versus the Patriots, Week 3 at the Bills. At least we get the Bills game in September. Week 4 hosts the Jets. Week 5 at the Panthers, midnight. Week 6 home against the Chargers. Week 7 at the Browns. That was one of the games we were looking at, like not having to do a cold weather game there. Week 8 at the Falcons. Week 9 against the Ravens on Thursday Night Football. Oh, just slaughter us now. All right, Week 10 versus the Bills. It's home against the Ravens. So the Dolphins technically have 4 home games in a row, but one of those is the Spain game. They go home against the Ravens, home against the Bills, home against the Commanders in Spain, bye week, home against the Saints. That stretch is rough. Not the Saints necessarily, but the Ravens, Bills, Commanders, 3 games in a row. Like, yes, they're all home games, but one's Thursday Night Football. That's an automatic loss. One's against the Bills. That's an automatic loss. And one's in Spain. That's an automatic loss. Then they go at the Jets, at the Steelers in Week 15. That's probably like early December. And then versus the Bengals and that Steelers game is Monday Night Football. Steelers game is Sunday Night Football. Why are they giving them so many primetime games? The Dolphins have 5 primetime games. And they're home versus the Buccaneers and then at the Patriots in Week 18. All right, 3 takeaways. Early shot at the Bills. Will this help? Who knows? No, it won't. But the Dolphins get the Bills in Buffalo when the weather's still good. If the Fins are ever going to mount a serious challenge in the division, they have to start here. Miami has not beaten Buffalo since Week 3 of the 2022 season. Yeah, it's been bad. An especially tough middle stretch. The Dolphins host the Ravens on a short week, then have the Bills before date with the Commanders in Spain. All 3 of those. Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, see, I could be a sports writer for the Dolphins here. And then division wrangling early and late, with Jets and Patriots both in rebuilding mode and with new coaches. Dolphins will get early and late looks at the progress of the teams. Nobody cares about that. Dolphins have the Patriots in Week 2 and the Jets in Week 4, and face those 2 again in Week 14 and Week 18. Wow. I don't know if I knew this. Check this out. Yeah, I know. Dolphins are it's like automatic 0-5 in prime time, and then they have the 1 overseas game, so that's like an automatic 0-6. This stat came from NFL.com. Over the past 3 seasons, the Dolphins have the 4th best home record in the league at 18-7. Man, it sure doesn't feel like it. All right, sorry. There's we're top of the 4th. There's 2 out and a runner on. Diving into football schedules. Getting distracted from baseball here. So Brian Reynolds grounded out. Joey Bart grounded out. Alexander Canario singled. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is up. And Kiner-Falefa singles out to right field. So that's going to be runners on first and second with 2 outs. Yeah. Yeah, we need the Dolphins to do something this year. I think this is the make or break year for the Dolphins. I think if they don't win a playoff game, I think they're going to blow everything up. That's just my guess. Clay Holmes is pitching pretty well. That was just kind of a seeing eye single. I'm not too worried about this yet. The 1 home run he gave up was an absolute downpour. First pitch to Gorski is fouled out of play. Derails. For having no killer mentality, they're sure killing it in the standings. The best record in baseball, or tied for the best record in baseball? Yeah, they should have just delayed it for 15 minutes because it turned out to be yeah, I mean, I don't know, is it really true the Dolphins are 18-7 at home over the last 3 seasons? It doesn't feel like it. We're atrocious on the road then. I think this is Tua's make or break season. I think the Quinn Ewers draft pick is exactly what Tua needed, what the Dolphins needed. They have a pivot. There's a swing and a miss by Gorski. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So I think that was intentional. I think it was a note to Tua to say, look, we like you. We want you to succeed. Oh, that was a good pitch by Holmes. That was nasty. Do that pitch again. There's the 1-2 pitch to Gorski. Ooh. Not swing, I guess. I thought it might have just been a strike in the zone. Yeah, I thought that was just a called strike. It's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's see, is it over? It's probably just off the plate. Yeah, no, I mean, that's true, but that's the problem is it is what it is. And the ultimate question that Dolphins upper management has to ask is, can Tua get us over the hump? Like, look, Tua's got the 6th or 7th best quarterback record over the last handful of seasons. When he's in there and he plays, he's great. There's a tapper past the mound. Acuna fields it, throws it to first, and that will retire the side. Just to get a little pitch count, that's 56 pitches for Clay Holmes through 4. Bailey falters at 58 pitches through 3. So with the rain, it's not the most efficient performance, but really the only major mistake was that 1 home run that he gave up. So no, it's true. Like, it's not Tua's fault that he's injury prone, but at the same time, if you want to build a team that's going to be competitive against the Bills and the Chiefs, like, you have to have a quarterback you can trust. You want to get at least a run this inning. Well, you got Swimo, Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, and Luis Mr. Cup Terens. Yeah, well, that's why, Justin, that's why I wish, if you notice, they didn't give us any daytime home games early in the season for the Dolphins against good opponents. So, like, no September game. Here are your September home games. Ready? Patriots, Jets. That's who we get at home. And the Jets game is Monday Night Football. So they're giving the Dolphins 1 home game in September in the daytime, and it's against the rebuilding Patriots. So they know it's an advantage, and so then, you know, the NFL hates the Dolphins. Ever since the whole Tom Brady tampering incident, they hate us. The next home game you get at daytime is the Chargers. Okay, and then the next daytime home game is the Bills in Week 10. That's like November. So daytime home games for the Dolphins in September and October, 2. 1 in September, 1 in October. It's like, so when I first ran through the schedule, I was between, like, 7, 8 wins, something like that. But the way this whole thing breaks down, man, the floor might have gotten lower for the Dolphins. It might be 5. 5 wins might be the floor. What an embarrassing Week 4 game. Dolphins-Jets. Oh, my goodness. That's such an embarrassing game for the NFL to have in Week 4 of the season. Talk about, like, squelching any momentum you have. Yeah, but we still somehow managed to get Bengals in prime time, not Sunday Night Football, so that might be flexed out. We managed to still get the Steelers in December on Monday Night Football. So, and then the Commanders, a game that maybe we could pull off an upset in. They took that game away from Miami, sent us to Madrid. I mean, unless this team is significantly better, then I think it's going to be tough. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brandon Nimmo here in the bottom of the 4th, by the way, because we do have a baseball game going on. We're going to do a separate football show after the game tonight, just so you guys know. So I don't want to get too sidetracked overall, but we'll try to fill in commercial breaks with football talk. And I don't want to ignore you guys, but I just... yeah, we need a Nimmo classic at bat here. That's low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's really hard when you like multiple sports and both sports have big things going on at the same time. All right. There's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. Leadoff hit for Brandon Nimmo. A nice, good at bat. Vientos and Nimmo, some of it is like a little bit of an approach, but some of it is just the balls that they're hitting are just finding the hole where they weren't finding the hole earlier in the season. And sometimes there's like, it's just the pure luck of baseball. First pitch to Marte is a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. It is still 2-0 Pirates here. Starting to rain again. Yes, that was a good piece of hitting there by far. They're making fun of the weather forecasters, said it wasn't going to rain anymore. Well, this is the Mets' chance, right? So the Pirates scored their 2 runs in the rain in the 2nd. Now the Mets get to hit with the rain in the 4th. It's their time. And you got a Bailey Falter who is, his pitch count is getting up there. He's at 67 pitches, so that's inside to Marte. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yep. Yeah, it's time for the Marte home run to get back. You got Torrens, Tyrone Taylor on deck, man. I know they're good players, but Marte hits it up high, but very shallow. Through the raindrop, Ji-Wan Bae makes the catch. Nimmo goes back to first. All right, well, Nick's the Marte home run. All right. We don't have Jonathan here tonight because he's actually at the game. But I feel like this is where he would want rally pick. I feel like I'm channeling my inner Jonathan. Dead yelled new yes. By the way, he just changed his name. That's Jonathan. So I'm feeling like this Luis Torrens. This is where he would be calling for rally pig. So we're going for it. First pitch to Torrens is a ball on the inside corner. Sometimes he'll check in from the ballpark too, but when it's raining, might be a little less likely for that to happen. Got to keep all his tech dry. All right, here's the 1-0 pitch to Torrens. Nimmo on first, 1 out, Mets down 2-0. Torrens drives it to right field. It's dropped. Nimmo had to almost go back because he thought it was going to be caught and was able to dive in safely to second, or else it would have been a really long out. If it had been a good throw, Nimmo was going to be toast, but he got in there. I want to see exactly how Nimmo played it. He went halfway. Yeah. So it should have been caught, and had it been a good throw. So that might be rain affected right there. Yep, exactly. Exactly. That's what I was thinking, Justin. That's exactly what I was thinking. The rain might have been the impact there that we needed. All right, Tyrone Taylor at the plate now. First pitch is going to be a strike. So that's our break. Now we have to take advantage of it. Still only one out. Let's go Mets. Let's do it. It's too early for the Mets to do any pinch hitting here. It's only the 4th inning. But Taylor fouls that one back. You got Luis Angel Acuna, who's been struggling a little bit over the last week. I almost feel like, man, if you could get the bases loaded here, let Acuna try a squeeze. That could be really fun. Tyrone Taylor is going to fly it up. It is an infield fly rule in effect. Tyrone Taylor is out. That's 2 out. Luis Angel Acuna coming up. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, 2 on. That's down 2-0. Bailey Falter's up to 73 pitches, so it'd be nice to have a couple more guys get to the plate, get a couple runs across. I don't think you can risk the bunt here now, though. That's way inside on Acuna. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, I agree. It'd be really nice to score right now, Ashman. It'd be nice. Well, the Pirates have somebody warming up in the bullpen, so that's good news. That's low and inside to Acuna. 2 balls, no strikes. All right, here's the 2-0 pitch to Acuna. Acuna's going to foul that one away. It was a good rip. 2 balls, 1 strike. Words and stuff. 2-1 pitch. That's inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. So they're talking about Carlos Mendoza's, because there's been, there's lots of this talk about Mets not being able to get runners in scoring position home. Is it luck or is it skill? That's inside. That's going to be a walk. That'll load the bases for a Zokar here. And Mendoza's answer, basically, to summarize it, was it's both. Some of it's luck, some of it's skill. So he's like, I don't look at the batting average of runners in scoring position. But there is a skill to being able to stay calm, stay focused, and not try to do too much. There's 2 outs now, though, Hashman. We're going to get a pitching change. Wow. Well, this is going to be interesting here. So the Pirates are going to the bullpen here in the 4th inning, guys. I mean, we were talking just a few innings ago, getting them out by the 6th or maybe the 5th, but here it is in the 4th. The Mets have lefties galore on the bench. Azokar is due up. Is there any world where Soto gets subbed in here? Or McNeil? Or Beatty? That's nuts. I mean, his pitch count was up there, but it wasn't crazy high. It was 78. I think they said his high was like in the mid 80s. So this is interesting because so it'll be interesting to see who's coming in. So it's Chase Shugart. Chase Shugart. I'm probably botching that. But he's a righty. The Mets have Beatty or McNeil or Soto, 3 lefties available on the bench. I mean, I'd feel bad for Azokar getting the start tonight and like having to be subbed out in the 4th inning for a matchup, but I mean, it does kind of feel like this is a key at bat too. So what do you guys think? I'm going to say Mendoza's going to stick with Azokar here. That's my guess. But what do you guys think? There's an argument to be made to put in pretty much any of those guys. If it was a 6th, then maybe, but let the boys rest up. Yeah, that's my guess here. I know it's a key spot in the game. Yeah, I don't think you risk putting Soto out there to have to field for like 8 innings. So Azokar is going to stay in the game. First pitch, lined out right to center field, and that's going to end the threat. I don't like that approach by Azokar at all. You got a guy coming in cold on a rainy night. I don't like first pitch swinging there like that. Yeesh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That's like all the work the team did to get to bases loaded, and then just first pitch swing at a guy who just came in. Yeah, that's not the right approach there whatsoever. I'm fine giving Azokar the chance, especially in the 4th inning. But somebody's got to talk to him and say, hey, like let's be smart out here. Let's see a pitch or two. Let's see what he's got. I mean, a wild pitch scores a run there. A hit by a pitch scores a run. So, yeah, the approach there, like if you're sitting Soto, you don't bring in Soto there. If you're sitting in the 4th inning, if it was the 6th, 7th, maybe 8th or 9th, definitely you bring in Soto. But I just don't like the approach by Azokar there to just be first pitch swinging on a guy who's coming in cold on a rainy night. And to be honest, it felt kind of rushed. I don't know if it did to you guys. Like, it just felt like, wow, out of nowhere, they decided to make the pitching change. Yeah, and I get that. I know, it was a good pitch, right? So, Justin, you're right. It was a good pitch. It wasn't... Midnight's good with it. Like, I don't know. If Fader connects for that first pitch, it can shake the pitcher immediately. Yeah, and sometimes a pitcher coming in and just wants to throw a first pitch strike, that's your pitch to tee off on. I guess it's just with all the scenario where it felt kind of rushed, how they brought in the new pitcher, it just felt like it was like wasn't quite ready. And anyway, it is what it is. We're gonna move on to the top of the 5th inning because but I'm not gonna throw any criticism at Mendoza for not making the switch there. You know, Azokar's the starter in this game. Yeah, I mean, you could have gone like McNeil there or Beatty as well. I would not have minded. I understand why he didn't. We've got a pitch com violation with an automatic ball assigned to Clay Holmes here on the top of the fifth. Yeah, no, I mean, there's something to be said. I think McNeil could work a walk in that situation. And now Carlos Mendoza is arguing about the pitch clock violation. By the way, I mean, it's a good thing. I'm sure it's a worthy, valid discussion. What he should have done there too. Yeah, Hashman, I like that. I think that's the bigger point. Is at least we're against the bullpen at this point. Mendoza doing the finger wag here. So here's my take on the pitch comp. They've taken the ball off the pitch clock violation away. And so now all this time that we're supposed to be saving, we're just wasting with arguments as to whether or not a ball should be assigned or not. Let's just kick this Pirates manager out. We've got a delay. Now, Pirates manager is arguing. So it's back to no balls and no strikes. I understand why he's upset too. Here's how pitch comp should work. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, you just go back to the traditional signals. So it's no balls and no strikes. We still don't have a pitcher in the top of the fifth inning. We spent like 3 minutes talking about whether or not there's an automatic ball added, and there's not. I just think I have no issues with using the pitch comp. I just think if it doesn't work for any reason, you should just have to go back to finger signals and just go from there. Oh, and then there's a first pitch strike by Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is only at 57 pitches, so he is definitely in line to try to get through 7 innings if he can stay efficient. A nice bunt by Ji-Hwan Bae. That was a beautiful bunt. That is going to be Ji-Hwan Bae's first base hit of the season, I believe. Oh, that was beautiful. I know some of you guys don't like bunting, and I don't in a lot of situations, but I'm going to show you this. This is just a absolute beautiful bunt by Ji-Hwan Bae. So check this out.
Hitting that twice with his bat.
I know it's a little choppy, but just down the first baseline. Absolutely nothing to do. I agree. I agree, Midnight. I understand that Tech has to... So, I'm fine with it. I just don't want it. I don't think you should have any extra time added if it doesn't work. And Triolo hits a home run. And it is 4-0 Pirates. That's the second home run of the night. Gorski and now Triolo, the 7 and the 9 hole hitters. So it's 4-0. D-Rels, you realize they still have the best record in baseball right now. Come back to us, D-Rels. It's not all bad. This is, remember, this is stretching out Clay Holmes. This is his first start on 4 days rest. Mets are building to bigger and better things. They've already won the series. Come off the ledge. You're all right. This is popped up to Acuna. He makes a catch. There's the first out on the top of the fifth. Could be worse. How are the Rockies doing tonight? How are the Rockies doing? Can they beat the Rangers tonight? Nope, they're losing 4-1. By the way, Phillies are still losing in Game 2 of that doubleheader. I'm surprised how well the ball is jumping out of the... Did they fire their manager yet? the Rockies? Was that a catch by Azokar? Wow. We'll see if they're going to review it. Did he get it? Nope, that hit the ground. That's going to be a hit for McCutcheon. That's a hit, guys. I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be a hit. Marlins are doing better than the Rockets. A lot of people thought the Marlins were going to be the worst team in baseball this year. If you can't fire the owner, it won't help it. Amen. And all the Dolphins fans say, amen, preach, preacher, midnight. Preach it. If you can't fire the owner, you just can't fix things. And look, Mets fans understand this too. Look, there's a reason why the Mets had 20 years of futility, and it's called the Wilpons. The way I look at a baseball season is all games matter, but some games matter more than others. And between the rain and the upcoming Yankee series, I think it was kind of an intentional decision. There was just a, they're talking about in the Red Sox-Tigers game, there was a 9-8 putout. So the right fielder jumped to rob the home run, swatted the ball back into play where it was caught by the center fielder. Ryan Reynolds is going to walk here. Listen, the other part of this game, you guys got, for Mets fans, if you're not understanding what's going on here, this game is partly about stretching out Clay Holmes to be able to pitch every 5 days. He is, every single game this season, he's had 5 days rest. This is his first game on 4 days rest. So I'm pretty certain, regardless of the score of the game, there's a pitch count that they want Clay Holmes to get to in this game. And this might be one of those, you're exchanging some short-term pain, specifically Clay Holmes giving up some runs for some long-term gain, which is to get Clay Holmes the ability to pitch every 5 days instead of every 6 days or every 5 games, you know, whatever that might be. So you do have to understand that there are some bigger things in play. And you can disagree with the strategy, but just from a coach's perspective, what it looks like to me is you don't sit McNeil and Soto and Alvarez and Beatty all in the same night by accident. And so it's like you're taking Soto, your best player, you're giving him a night off plus tomorrow. You're taking Alvarez, a catcher, who you're trying to make sure he's available long term, and you're giving him back-to-back nights off. You're giving Vientos an opportunity to hit in the 2-hole, and so that's why he gets the start. Ooh, that one was. I think Torrens just got hit in the jewels again, guys. Just so you guys know. Yeah, but Holmes is like. There's a lot of stuff going. There's a game within the game here, and it's specifically a lot about stretching Holmes out and being ready for the Yankee series. I'm pretty sure, guys, if you watch the replay of that last pitch, Torrens just got Torrensed again. It bounced up. It looks to be okay, but that's high to Joey Bart. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So if you want to be like highly emotional about it, I totally understand like your frustration with this. But there's in my opinion at least, there's more than meets the eye to this particular game. There's a grounder to third. Vientos his second over to first for the double play to get out of the inning. So the Pirates do score 2, but once again, I give big kudos to Mets pitchers for not letting the little inning turn into the big inning, right? So this has been a notable reason, one of the reasons why the Mets have consistently been able to make comebacks or stay close in games, even games that they lose. If you remember the other day when the Mets lost 6-5 when Beatty had the 2 home runs, that was in part because of limiting the damage from the pitching side. So, oh yeah, no, I understand that, Hash. The good news is we have bench players galore tonight should we want them or need them. We're in the Pirates bullpen, who we've done really well against. And you're in the bottom of the 5th, and you got Lindor, Vientos, and Alonso coming up here. So, which means all those guys are going to get up at least once more, if not twice more, in this game. So I understand the frustration. I just kind of want to paint a little bit of a bigger picture of kind of what, just no inside info, just from what I can tell, maybe what appears to be going on here with that. Okay, let's do this. We haven't done a scoreboard update for a few innings, so let me run through the scores here really quick so you guys can see everything that is going on. I can make that a little bit smaller. There we go. All right. So the good news is, well, the bad news is the Phillies beat the Cardinals 2-1 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. But in Game 2, the Cardinals are now leading the Phillies 12-7. That's going to the bottom of the 8th. The Cardinals just tacked on 3 more runs. So the Phillies ended the Cardinals' 9-game winning streak. But Cardinals looking to get back at the Phillies for us there. So that's good. Have that little thing. This, if I were not watching the Mets game right now, this is the game I'd probably be watching. The Red Sox and Tigers are tied at 5. Top of the 9th, Red Sox have 2 runs on. Blue Jays up 3-1 on the Rays. That's top of the 7th. White Sox have a 4-0 lead over the Reds. Braves up 4-1 on the Nationals. Marlins up 3-1 on the Cubs. The Cubs, they're not a bad team, but they're definitely struggling to string together consistent wins. Of course, the Mets are down 4-0, but still lots of time left in our game here. Rangers over the Rockies 4-1. Royals over the Astros 2-0. Angels Padres start at 9:40. Athletics try to win 2 in a row against the Dodgers. That game will start at 10:10. Brewers beat the Guardians 9-5. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 8-7, and Yankees beat the Mariners 3-2. And the Twins swept a doubleheader against the Orioles, which now gives the Twins a 10-game winning streak, which might be the best in baseball this year. Yeah, we're only down 4. And Lindor is at the plate. So we're going to just relax. It's going to be, if the Mets can win this game, it's going to be a great story, right? And by the way, I don't know if Clay Holmes is going to come out next inning or not, but it would not shock me if he does. It would not shock me. I know some of you guys are ready for him to be done, but the whole point is to stretch his arm out so he can pitch 90 to 100 pitches on rest. And so why do you pick this game to do it? Well, one, it's against the Pirates. It's probably, like, if it doesn't go well, it's not going to go horribly wrong. giving up 4 runs, that's high and inside to Lindor. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. So in other words, even if he struggles a little bit, it's still the Pirates. And that's what we're seeing is that, yeah, he gave up 2 home runs. The one difference is there just happened to be runners on base both times. But it could just as easily be a 2-0 game as opposed to a 4-0 game. And the other thing is the Mets already have this series won. And I definitely can foresee the Mets going to a 6-man rotation once Montas or Manaea is back. Looking like, interestingly, it looks like Montas will be back before Manaea, even though originally Manaea's injury, I don't know. I just had a bad feeling about this Manaea injury for a long time, that we might not see him pitch this season. I hope that's just a bad gut feeling and it's the chicken tortilla soup I ate tonight and not anything else. But Lindor, wow, ripped it, but just stabbed. I mean, that was a beautiful swing. That's the best swing I've seen Lindor take in the last couple of days. Just absolutely caught at second base. But that's looking good, and that's looking promising, both for Lindor and the Mets to maybe be able to put together some hits here against Sugart. Ooh, Sugart. Sugart. Yes, please. Pitch me up. Strike down the middle. All right, here we go. Swaggy Marky V. Mark Vientos does have one of the 3 Mets hits on the day. The other hits are by Nimmo and Torrens. Vientos gets under it just a little bit. That was a good-looking swing. That's going to be flied out to Canario in left field. The Mets are putting some good swings here against Sugart. Sugart. They're not falling in, but these are some good-looking swings. Lindor's swing was really good, and Vientos just missed that. So let's see what Pete Alonso can do with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch is way outside. All right, let's see what we got here. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Anybody feeling a Pete going deep here? If the ball is jumping tonight, Mets are hitting Sugart pretty good here. Nobody on with 2 outs. It's like a good time for Pete. Let's go it. Let's call for the Pete Alonso home run. That's low and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm going for it. Going on the record. I'll probably be wrong, but that's all right. We're going to make the call. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Oh, that was a good pitch to hit. He fouled it back, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was a good swing and a good pitch. Just missed it. Two balls, 2 strikes to count to Alonso. Outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Do you guys want me to check on any other NFL teams during the break? Let me know. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And Pete rips it! It's going to fall in. It's not going to be a home run. Pete's going for extra bases. They're going to call him out at second for coming off the bag. Let's see if the Mets are going to challenge. First of all, was he in there? He was in there. Yeah. Yeah, he came off the bag. He was in. Now, here's my question on that. He was in safe and then came off the bag. Does he get credit for a double then? Probably not. But what's the difference between... Is there a scoring difference between if you overrun second and then get tagged versus like he got there first, so he was safe and came off the bag. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably just going to be counted as a single and then thrown out at second. Yeah, that's at least how they're scoring it on game day here. So no challenge by the Mets. He clearly came off the bag. He was in. If he could have held the bag, he would have been in with a double. But unfortunately, his hand came off the bag. So we're going to go to the top of the sixth. 4-0 Pirates. I like the effort there, though. I don't have any problem with that. Like, sometimes when you're not winning, you gotta take those risks to turn the game around. So, shopping and listening. Sounds good, Midnight. Let me run through, if I can find it. I'll try to run through the Panthers schedule for you really quick, if I can find it. While you're shopping. I'm going to go through really quick because the game's about to start back up. But here you go. Week 1 at Jaguars. Week 2 at Cardinals. Week 3 home versus Falcons. Week 4 at the Patriots. Week 5 home against the Dolphins. Week 6 home against the Cowboys. Week 7 at the Jets. Week 8 home against the Bills. Week 9 at the Packers. Week 10 home versus the Saints. Week 11 at the Falcons. Week 12 at the 49ers on Monday Night Football. Week 13 home versus the Rams. Week 14 bye, very late bye for the Panthers. Week 15 at the Saints. Week 16 home versus the Buccaneers. Week 17 home against the Seahawks. And Week 18 at the Buccaneers. It is the first national audience for the Panthers since 2023. They're going to, when they travel the 49ers in Week 12 for Monday Night Football. And you've got games, 2 out of the last 3 games of the season against the Buccaneers. So is there a little bit of a bias there to anticipate a battle for the division? They're showing an up-close replay that maybe never actually got a tag down on Pete Alonso on that last play. 17-0, so no. Imagine if you guys and the Buccaneers were both 14-0 going into the last 3 weeks of the season, Midnight. That'd be hilarious. So Clay Holmes gets the first out of the inning in the 6th. Like I said, don't be surprised if Clay Holmes comes out. His pitch count is still relatively low. And I want to at least get him through 6. I know the Mets have a day off, but you still don't want to burn more bullpen arms than you have to. It's a great opportunity to give some guys multiple days off in a row. Maybe even multiple guys 3 days off in a row. So... well, congrats on getting a primetime game this year, Midnight. There's a strike down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is up for the Pirates. 4-0 Pirates, top of the 6th. There's a grounder to third. Vientos fields it. Fires across. That's going to be 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Genesis Cabrera is warming up in the bullpen. Clay Holmes is at 84 pitches. I'm going to assume that this could be his last batter here. Gorski is up. He has one of the 2 home runs for the Pirates tonight. The reason I'm not completely quitting on this game yet for the Mets is because, 1, the Pirates haven't been able to do anything outside of the home runs. And 2, if the Pirates are hitting home runs, it means the Mets can hit home runs. If the ball is jumping a little bit tonight, there's a chance. Even in the cooler rain. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gorski. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Tigers have a runner on third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, tied up 5-5 with the Red Sox, trying to win that game. Swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then that Cardinals-Phillies game, Cardinals are still up 12-7, top of the 9th, and they got 2 runners on. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Gorski here. Really want to see Clay Holmes just attack the zone here. If he beats you again, he beats you, but let's just go for it. Go for the strikeout. And if he gets you again, he gets you again. But there's a strike. Throws it right down the middle. Beautiful pitch. I mean, look, the line on Clay Holmes, he's going to be done here. That's going to put Clay Holmes at 90 pitches on the day. I don't see them bringing him back out. If they do, it would probably just be for Bay. But, I mean, the Pirates have gotten a lot of hits tonight. I just don't foresee them, especially if there's any sort of length to an inning. 4 times try. So, you know what? All we need, Hashman, is just 1 run an inning. And the Mets tend to do well second half of games against bullpens and stuff. Rally Pig time. Hey, how's it going, Jonathan? How is it at the game? We were referring to you before. We brought him out earlier, but I felt like you would have. And it was, when was it? It was when the Mets threatened. We brought him out. I think it was for the Torrens hit. But are you staying dry at the game? How does Clay Holmes look other than the home runs in person? Darling said he thought his off-speed stuff was a little flat, but I just kind of thought overall it was just struggling with the grip and everything. But I don't know, maybe you got something more for us there as our on-the-scene reporter. Due up for the Mets here this inning was Swimmo, Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, and Luis. I don't know what. I don't have a nickname. I'm working on his nickname. Luis Nuggets Torrens. So it is 4-0 Pirates. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. All right, here is Nimmo at the plate. First pitch is a strike down the middle. Nimmo's been hitting a lot better of late. Nimmo, Vientos, Beatty, 3 of the best Mets hitters of late. Soto as well. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brandon Nimmo. By the way, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll have a brand new video coming out where I got lots of work to do after the game. So we're not going to do a post game tonight. We did that last night. It worked okay. I gotta work on the format. I think it went too long, but it was still good, and it was fun to kind of have conversation about it. There's a strike down the middle, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But we're gonna do probably about a half an hour after the game. We're gonna do a Dolphins schedule release stream. This is hit to the left side. And one hop throw over to first is still able to get Nimmo in time. It's going to be one out of the bottom of the 6th inning. Shugart still pitching here for the Pirates. That was still a good at bat by Nimmo. It just didn't go his way. Ooh, wow, that was outside. But they called it a strike. No balls, 1 strike. We got a visit to the mound now. All right, so it's no balls, 2 strikes to Marte. Michael, yeah, it's been a little rough tonight, but we've talked about a lot on the stream that Mendoza intentionally doesn't have some of his best hitters in there tonight. You know, normally you don't have a Zokar coming up with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Marte grounder to short here. He's going to be thrown out at first. So, and I think there's a little bit of an intentional plan here for Mendoza to get some guys back-to-back days of rest going into this Yankees series. I think he cares more about the Yankees series and trying to sweep that than he does about trying to sweep this Pirate series. You can disagree with that strategy. That's perfectly fine, but, you know, there's just not a world that I foresee a Zokar being on this roster come playoff time. You know, he's serviceable to have as a backup. Yeah, well, exactly. Both of those guys, Michael, I don't see either of those being on this roster, you know, come playoff time. And, but it's who we have to work with right now. So this is Luis Torrens at the plate, by the way. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And I think the fact that the Mets already won the first 2 games of the series definitely impacted how Mendoza chose to manage this game. That's going to catch the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. So I certainly understand Met fan frustrations with it, but I think in general, in a Major League Baseball season, all games matter, but some games matter more than others. One time you bet I'm going to use. Hey, I appreciate you being here. I don't recommend anyone bet or follow my advice or my picks for any of these things. But sorry it's not working out for you so far, Ashman. But never know. This Mets team has a little spunk left in them, and they do have bench guys. So Torrens hits a grounder over the pitcher's mound to second, and the Mets are going to be retired here as we head to the top of the 7th inning. I'm assuming Clay Holmes is not coming back out. Genesis Cabrera was warming up, so he is the likely pitcher, and that is correct. That is official. Genesis Cabrera is coming in for the Mets. Clay Holmes is going to be done. y'all aren't going to like my analysis on this, but I actually am okay with Clay Holmes' pitching performance today. And I get it. You don't like the numbers. You don't like the scoreboard. And I understand that. But let me make my argument on this. Here's my argument. Argument number one. The first home run that he gave up, there is zero reason that the game should have even been going on when that happened. It was absolutely downpouring. And Holmes had just thrown like a wild pitch. Barely had a good grip on the ball. It didn't have his full pitch arsenal available to him due to the rain. So that's part of it. So I'm not saying he's not responsible for the home run. He is. Two, this is the first time all season he's pitched on 4 days rest instead of 5 days rest. And we're trying to gain a Clay Holmes that can pitch every 5 days in July and August and September. And in the end, that's going to save our bullpen down the road. So there's a little bit of an intentional sacrifice of that today. Yeah, I think 2-0 seems like a fair score. Of course, officially he's charged for 2 runs. And again, if you want to get over Clay Holmes for giving up both of those home runs, that's fine. But I don't really, when I'm evaluating this as a pitching performance, a lot of the contact that he gave up, the hits that he gave up, was weak contact. It wasn't like they were hitting it everywhere. They just got 2 good pitches, and they took advantage of 2 good pitches for the Pirates, and they took advantage of it. And so I'm not discouraged by this Clay Holmes performance. You're going to have to bite the bullet at some point, so you might as well bite it and try to still sneak out a win against the Pirates. And you do it in a series where you've already won the series. So that's there's a raccoon. There's a raccoon wandering out in the seats at Citi Field. First pitch is a ball. This is Genesis Cabrera coming in. Ji-hwan Bae pitching. Or hitting for the Pirates. Genesis Cabrera pitching for the Mets. Ji-hwan Bae hitting for the Pirates. He got his first hit of the season earlier on maybe the most beautiful bunt I've seen this entire season. There's a beautiful drag bunt down the first base line. And then I believe he scored on the home run after that. So, swing and a miss there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For the Mets to legitimately have a chance to come back, though, you definitely need a good relief performance here. Oh, we're at the top of the 7th. We need to go find a creator to raid, too. So let me get that set up. It's fouled down the line there. So, as always, we love to raid some other creators here. During the 7th inning. And Ji-hwan Bae strikes out for the first out. You guys got to see this. We mentioned this play before. Awesome, Hashman. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do when the Dolphins and the Mets games combine. I think if it's playoff, if it's a playoff-worthy game for the Mets probably get priority. But there's only so many football games, so I'll probably stream those too. So yeah, we're gonna cover as many of those games as we possibly can. So let me do this really. I'll get back to that thought in a second. I want to show this play because they're finally showing it to us here. Okay, this was from the Tigers-Red Sox game.
Terry Carpenter hits it.
I know it's going to be a little choppy, but while you're Abreu robs the home run, hits it back over, and then Ceddanne Raphael catches the rebound.
I mean, that's like the equivalent of a Hail Mary.
That's like a banana ball play.
They throw it to the end zone.
So, anyway, I wanted to just share that. That's a pretty cool play. You don't. It's a 9-8 put out, which is like such a rare thing. All right, Triolo's up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He fouls that one back. We're top of the 7th with 1 out. Pirates are up 4-0. So yeah, so so the best way, if you are enjoying streams like this and there's a swing and a miss, there's 2 outs, back-to-back strikeouts to start the inning for Genesis Cabrera. He wants to get the rock-solid relief performance of the day for sure. But anyway, if you are looking to support this small channel and help me be able to create more videos and stream a little bit more often, the best way you can do that is join our small but growing group of patrons on Patreon, patreon.com/MetropoliFins. You're going to get early access to some of our long-form videos, including one that I'm going to be making later tonight. So, and Genesis Cabrera gets out of the inning 1, 2, 3. Just a quick little preview of what you would get on the Patreon, so you can see everybody got early access to the power rankings. And this is what we're going to be doing. I'm making the 3 up and 3 down later tonight for this week. This is last week's video. You get early access to videos, and you can vote on things that help determine the direction of this channel. So if you are interested in supporting a small channel, there's a bunch of different levels, whatever works best for you. I'd love to do it. If you're not able to, don't want to, don't like me, that's fine as well. Feel free to just hang out here and don't have to worry about it. But just a special appreciation to the patrons. Bye for the Hobbit, Darren Rivera, thanks so much for supporting this small channel. If you want to join them, the more patrons we have, the more content I can create, and hopefully the better equipment I can get over time. All the patron stuff just ends up pouring right back into this channel and gives me the freedom to not have to go out and do other gig work and food delivery stuff. It allows me to do more coverage for you guys as well, and so helps me and helps support my family. So I appreciate it if you're able to. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. Just wanted to let you guys know about that opportunity. Let's see. Going to try to find a streamer here because we're going to raid somebody. So this one looks, let's see, who's this? I'm trying to find someone who's streaming the game here. Who's actually streaming the game. And not just like they're actually doing the work on camera as best as they can. That's a live scoreboard. Lots of the Spanish streamers here tonight. And not many people streaming. So we did, I don't know if, trying to find out if he's in subscriber only mode or not. Where is hold on. Is he not live anymore? He might not be live anymore. That's an old stream. All right. Let's refresh again here. Trying to find. So we did Pure Adrenaline Sports yesterday. So we're not going to do them again. We might have to find another game if we can't find. Or we can raid one of our Spanish streamers tonight. Let's go. All right, we're gonna. Brett Beatty is in to hit to lead off the bottom of the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're going to raid one of our Spanish Mets streamers tonight because I can't find anybody else on new. So I'm going to, if you don't speak Spanish, that's fine. Still just do the same old, send positive vibes. Good love to all of them and everything like that. Red Hot Beatty. All right, here we go. We're going to raid a Spanish baseball streamer tonight. So there's the link in the chat. 2 balls, 1 strike to Beatty. The red hot Red Beatty. You better believe it, Ed Yell. Swing and a miss there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So if you guys want to, you can go over, hit the like. I mean, he's got 200 people watching, and he's the smallest of the 3 Spanish streamers. One of the Spanish streamers right now has like 2,000 people watching. Absolutely nuts. I picked the wrong language to speak, I guess. Here's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brett Beatty here. Beatty fouls it back. That was a good-looking swing by Beatty there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. D-Rails is just waiting. D-Rails can't wait for Brett Beatty to strike out. Tyrone Taylor, this is Tyrone Taylor's spot that Beatty is coming in for. Beatty takes a good, tough pitch to take there. That looked like a good pitch at the very end. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Brett Beatty. Hey, Darren even dropping a little bit of Spanish. Wow, liner right back to the pitcher. That was a great stop by the pitcher, just catching the fly. He gave it a rip, guys. There's nothing wrong on that. That was 106 miles an hour off the bat. Didn't break through his glove like it did Vientos' glove yesterday. That was a good rip by Beatty. Just nothing you can do. That's basically the same exact play that one of our kids in Little League got out on. So good at bat by Beatty. Just hit it like literally into the glove. It's more like the ball found the glove than the glove found the ball. Luis Angel Acuna is at the plate now. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 4-0 Pirates. Braves tied up 4-4. Nice. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. All right. Well, yep. Nationals tied it up. Nice. By the way, the Cardinals did defeat the Phillies in Game 2 of the doubleheader, 14-7. So Aaron Nola got rocked in that game. Swing and a miss by Acuna there. All right, Jeff McNeil is coming in as a pinch hitter as well. McNeil is coming in for a Zokar. It certainly makes you wonder. What would have happened had McNeil or Beatty come in with the bases loaded. But it's such a... Yeah, I think intentionally so, Atlantic. I mean, never going to say that a team's going to try to lose, but Mendoza, I think, was more concerned about getting some players a little extra rest, especially with the series win already locked up. It's been a rough night. It really comes down to just 2 mistakes by Clay Holmes, too, though. I mean, the offensive side is plenty of mistakes, but on the pitching side, and it was just Hey, Braves are now losing. McNeil pulls one through the hole. Man, that would have been really nice with the bases loaded, though. But again, so this is my argument, and I know there's all these Luis Robert rumors, but if you go back, I was watching some of my old stuff from spring training. I wanted the Mets to get a top-tier center fielder, like from the very beginning. You know, because the Jose Siri, Tyrone Taylor, Azokar, any one of those is fine as your backup, but I don't want two of those guys platooning as your starters. So, yeah, it has been a while. And guess what? This turns the lineup over here in the 7th. So, if you do the math, if the Mets can get about 2 or 3 more runners on base, it's going to mean Lindor can get up again in the 9th. Lindor's up now with 2 outs. Grounded fair ball down the line, right to the first baseman. And Lindor is going to be retired. That's a fair ball. It was going to go foul, but it bounced back fair. So there's been a lot of little things, though, too. One of the things with baseball is the luck of the game, which was like Beatty's hit was an absolute rocket, 106 miles an hour, and it literally just landed in the glove of the pitcher. The pitcher had no idea where the ball was coming. And that's kind of how it's been tonight, too. So I'm not, obviously I always want to win every game, but you're not going to go 162-0, and in fact, you're not going to go, 140-22 either. You might go 22 and 140 if you're the Rockies, but you're not going to go 140-22 on the season. You're going to lose some games, and I think that this Clay Holmes, this is the next step in the progression of him becoming a full-time starter. Yeah, that's true. By the way, I don't know if you saw it, but it looks like on the replay, they never actually tagged him, Jonathan. Other than the strings of the glove, it doesn't actually look like they ever actually got a tag in on him on the up-close replay from what they were showing. They didn't show a ton of angles, and he was safe. He was definitely in there, and his hand definitely came off the bag, but it doesn't look like he ever actually got a tag directly on him. I'm okay with it, though. Like, I understand why he was trying to do it. He's trying to get into scoring position with 2 outs. So, it's not a great game by the Mets. This has not been a great series by the Mets. And I think that's the bigger point here. It's not been a great series by the Mets, and they've already won 2 of the games. And tonight is definitely an off night. There's zero reason that Clay Holmes should have been pitching in that inning. What inning was that? In the 2nd inning? So in that 2nd inning, there's zero reason why that game should have been going on in that moment. And so, all right. So you get to see something a little unique here. Luis Angel Acuna is in center field. I love this. This is the perfect time to try this out. McCutcheon is at the plates, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff McNeil's in right. Luis Angel Acuna gets to try out center field in the major leagues. And I'm telling you what, there are guys in the minors who would love to come up to this team if you could have Acuna playing center field. I do like Acuna as a second baseman as well, but the flexibility that the Mets are building with this roster is nice, and this is the perfect time to try this out. Down by 4 in the 8th inning. It's not a pretty game. Try something out a little bit new and different. 3 balls, 1 strike to McCutcheon. It's not always about today. Sometimes it's about next week or tomorrow. Well, I think that's maybe on the mind here too, is Where is Mauricio going to play? Okay. Wow, I call that a strike. Yeah, that was a ball. So I think that's the idea here is how do you get Ronnie Mauricio into this lineup? And the logical place for Ronnie is to play him at second base. If Acuna can handle center field. McCutchen walks on the next pitch there. Yeah, so wherever you want Beatty between the two. But I mean, obviously Lindor's going to play most of shortstop. So if you can, if Acuna is comfortable in center field, if he can play center field and cover that ground, then you open up second base for Mauricio and or Beatty, third base for Beatty and or Vientos, and yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, what a fun lineup this could be. I mean, what does that lineup look like? Okay, so then you got catcher is Alvarez. First base is Alonso. Let's go second base, Mauricio. And all right, so I mean, whatever. You can do second base Beatty, whatever. It doesn't matter. Then you go shortstop, Lindor. And then you go third base, Mauricio. Then you go left field, Nimmo. Center field, Acuna. Right field, Soto. And then DH, Vientos. Oh, man, check this out. Check out that as your starting lineup. Alvarez catcher, Alonso first, Beatty second, Lindor short, Mauricio third, Nimmo left, Acuna center, Soto right, Vientos designated hitter. And then how do you build that lineup, right? So then you go Lindor, Soto. Man, there'd be so much speed. There'd be so much speed at the bottom half of that lineup. So I like Vientos personally. And then you're probably going to still put Nimmo in the 5-hole. I know Mendoza really likes Nimmo in the 4-hole, but whatever. I'm making my lineup here. Well, if it's mine, I probably don't even bat Nimmo that high. But you go Nimmo, and then you can go Mauricio here in the 6-hole. And then you could go Beatty. Man. And then you go. There's a hit out to left field for Joey Bart. You go Alvarez. I mean, that could be your actual lineup. I mean, you could mix and match that all around. And then your bench. So I like McNeil. You got McNeil. You got Torrens because you got to carry another catcher. You've got who else? Well, you probably keep. I mean, I'm assuming no trades, but we go Tyrone Taylor. That's ripped out to left field. McCutchen's going to hold it. There's going to be bases loaded with one out here in the top of the 8th. do we have on our bench here with this lineup? Let's see. I suppose Winker could be your. You could have like Winker. Well, so it would be Winker or Marte, one of those guys. We've got a meeting of the minds on the mound right now. That's our little holdup. Still just 4-0 Pirates here, but Genesis Cabrera's in pretty big trouble with bases loaded. Bases loaded, 1 out in the top of the 8th. Cabrera, they're looking for the strikeout or the double play here. First pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. So yeah, I mean, this is potentially what the Mets can be going towards eventually. Now that's assuming other guys from the minors aren't ready to make the jump. You know, if you get to the point where Jet Williams is ready, then you bring Jet Williams in, and you just have this nice rotation between Jet Williams and Acuna in center. Acuna, McNeil, Beatty at second, and Mauricio. There's a lot of talent. 2 balls, 1 strike. I do think the most likely position you're going to see the Mets trade for is a frontline starting pitcher. I know we got guys coming back. Oh, and bullpen help. We'll definitely be trading for bullpen help. There's a swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kiner Falefa. There's a swing and a miss by Kiner Falefa. Good job by Cabrera. So now there's 2 outs, so now I just got to get 1 more out to get out of this inning. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. I can be center field. It's going to be Vientos, Alonso, Nimmo due up in the bottom of the 8th for the Mets. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gorski here. Bases loaded. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Pirates up 4-0, but dangerously close to expanding that lead. Oh, just outside. It's a good-looking pitch. Couldn't get him to swing at it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Played it in the closest base. Or get that strikeout. Hey, no problem, Midnight. I appreciate you. This has popped up. Beatty's getting under it. And he makes the catch. A little drift to the left, drift to the right, but the Mets get out of the inning. Well, that's maybe the little bailout that the Mets needed. We're going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mets still have 2 more cracks at this. Pirates scored all their runs in 2 innings, and see, Mets definitely have the ability. They have the ability to do more than that. So we'll see what they can manage to put together. I featured that song actually in my my little deep dive into "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." If you guys haven't seen that, you want to learn the history to the song "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," I'll post that because I do feature that song in that video. Take me out to the ball game. All right. Question from Lounge here is, what offseason mistake do you think the Mets made? The one I was screaming about was AJ Minter, the injury history. Yeah, I don't think David Stearns is ever going to throw that much money at a reliever with Tanner Scott. I have no problem with the Minter contract. I think that's worth the risk. He was obviously great when he pitched, and sometimes injury histories come back and bite you, sometimes they don't. I still say, as I've said consistently, I think the biggest mistake for this Mets team was not getting a frontline center fielder. Why go all in on Soto? Yep, center field by John Fogerty. So I featured that song. This was the video that I put together on the history of Taking Me Out to the Ball Games. If you haven't seen it yet, give it a look, give it a like. I had fun putting it together, but it's hard to get discovered by the YouTube algorithm. So I learned a lot. Like I legit learned a lot putting that video together. So Vientos is up, count as 1 ball, no strike. So yeah, I would just say, going back to Lounge's question, that's foul down the third baseline. I think the biggest mistake the Mets made was not getting a true starting center fielder. Now, to be fair, I also felt like the Mets needed a better backup catcher, and Torrens has proved me wrong. And I think the fact that Torrens got to hit so much in lieu of Alvarez being hurt and not able to play, I think that maybe helped everybody, because then the expectation, the pressure was off. But I mean, it's hard to critique too much stuff. You got the best record in baseball. You have a pitching staff that's done something that has never been done before in baseball history. You guys hear this? You guys hear this stat? I don't know if you guys have heard this stat. This is like a crazy stat about the Mets starting pitching staff. They literally made baseball history yesterday. Through 43 games, the New York Mets starting rotation has achieved a feat never before seen in Major League Baseball history. They became the first team with 5 different players posting, 5 different starting pitchers posting sub 3.15 ERA with 40-plus strikeouts through 8 starts. The first time it's ever been done in baseball history, guys. And that was with Montas, Minaya, and Blackburn all injured. So they did that with a combination of their 1 through 8 starters. You know, because Montas, Minaya were probably 2 and 3. Blackburn was probably going to be the number 5. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's never been done. You can think of the greatest pitching rotation ever out there, like the 90s Braves, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavine, Avery. Never did that. And this Mets rotation has done that. And it's crazy. If you want to look it up, here's the link if you want to dig into it more. But yeah, I mean, so I can't really go against the Mets there. I can't really go against the Mets on the relief pitching core, especially since there's going to be more relief pitchers. By the way, Vientos starts. Vientos is out. Alonso is now up with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. But there's still too much inconsistency in the lineup, and I just think it's the roster construction build I don't like having both Marte and Winker on the team. It's two guys for one DH position. You just can't afford to do that. You need to have your starting DH and then a couple other guys who rotate in to give them a day off from the field, but keep the bat in the lineup. Like you want to keep Pete Alonso's bat in the lineup, but just give him a day off at first. That's fine. You can't use two position players. Two of your four position players cannot be designated hitter. You can have one or whatever. So that's just my take on it. And you can't have like a Zokar being on this team. It's just a waste. Like you put him in a game and you're like wanting to pitch hit for him in the fourth inning because of the situation. Pete Alonso strikes out. So that's my overall biggest concern is that it's just there's the right pieces haven't been fit together yet. Now that being said, we've got time and the Mets keep winning. So. That's ripped by Nimmo down the right field line, but he is going to be retired. I think there's a broken bat. So we're going to go to the top of the ninth. Mets are down 4-0. Got to hold them here and try to find some magic in the ninth. Due up for the Mets in the ninth, at least as scheduled, will be Marte, Torrens, and Tyrone Taylor. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put Soto in for Marte and just let Soto DH the rest of the game. That's probably what, or sorry, it's not Taylor because Beatty came in for Taylor. So Marte, Torrens, and Beatty are due up in the ninth for the Mets. But you could pinch hit Soto for Marte. And then you'd still have Alvarez available as an emergency catcher. I don't know if we'll see how committed. We'll see how committed Mendoza is. Yeah, it is impressive, Midnight. Well, there's going to be some regression with the Mets pitching staff lounge. Like, I don't think anyone, but also, how many teams have a number 8 starter that could have 8 starts with an ERA under 3.15 and 40 strikeouts? Like, it's not so much about the pitching staff itself as it is about the depth that David Stearns is building into this team, that you have guys at a variety of different levels that can do what needs to be done and fill in as a team. So I'm not out here saying that we have 5 of the top 30 pitchers in baseball or anything like that. That's not the point of the stat to me. The point of the stat to me is the Mets had 3 injuries that took out 3 of their 5 starting pitchers. Look, the Braves are missing starting pitchers, and they absolutely struggling to stay at 500. The Mets are missing their number 2, their number 3, and arguably their number 5 starters. Minaya is probably their 2. Montas is probably their 3. And Blackburn was probably slated to be number 5. Because I'm assuming Peterson would have been slotted in 4, Blackburn would have been 5. Griffin Canning maybe wouldn't have made the roster. McGill might have started in the bullpen. Daniel Nunez is in the game. He is behind 2-0. And now 3-0. So Nunez is just yet to get in a groove. I think that's part of the reason why. Yep. Exactly. So Ron Darling saying he's in this game because you can't trust him in a big situation. And honestly, it's like the other side of like the Mets not really going all out for the win today is using some of their relievers, saving their best relievers for the Yankees series. I expect the Mets will have their best roster out every day against the Yankees. Let's foul back 3 balls, 1 strike. So Yeah, my argument is not that the Mets have 5 of the best pitchers in baseball. My argument is that as an off season and with pitchers, it's better to go wide than deep. Right? When the Mets went deep, it was Verlander and Scherzer. This is deep out to left field. Does it? Yeah, but Lounge, you started 4 bench players. Just like this game, the only people who will be upset about this game is like internet trolls. It like they just know that. Look, you started a Zokar. Right? The only reason a Zokar is on this team is because Siri is hurt. I know. I understand what you're saying. I just like... We'll see. Do you guys think that... do you think Soto will pinch hit for Marte in the 9th in the designated hitter spot? Or is he going to truly be out the whole game? That's foul down the first base line. Pete's able to make the catch over the railing. That's a nice play there. Yeah, maybe Beatty can break the goose egg. I mean, look, if you... Yeah, that could be, shoot. And I think there's multiple things we're seeing here that Mendoza was willing to, still try to win the game, but willing to say whatever happens, happens. Clay Holmes on 4 days of rest instead of 5. Luis Angel Acuna getting some reps in center field, which is not his natural position. Zokar getting the start. Sitting Soto. Sitting Beatty. Sitting McNeil. Bringing some of those guys in as subs or whatever, but there's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, and that's fair. Like I said, there will be some regression. You're not gonna. I don't think anyone's expecting Griffin Canning to be getting Cy Young votes at the end of the season. If he does, I mean, all hail the Mets pitching lab at that point. Daniel Nunez here with a 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Hey, that's good to see. That is good to see. See 1 run. All right. So I'll give you guys the choice. We got Rally Bear or Rally Pig. You guys tell me who you want, or both. We've never done the both. So you got the Mets Rally Bear. You got the Rally Pig, or neither. You can say Rally Bear. You can comment via emoji if you want Bear, Pig, or neither. Yeah. Well, you want both? All right. I'll see what sort of thing I can rig up here. Can I? We'll see. Rally Bear doesn't like to sit up that well, but we'll bring it out. All right. So Mark, we got both. We got lots of both. It's a man bear pig. It is the man bear pig. There we go. I totally forgot about man bear pig. There we go. Totally forgot. We're bringing out the man bear pig for the 9th inning here, guys. Hey, if we're gonna lose, we're gonna have fun while we lose. So, all right, we're going to the bottom of the 9th. Due up is Starling Marte, Luis Torrens, Brett Beatty. Now, if the Mets are legit trying to win this game, you bring in Juan Soto here, right? If, on the other hand, it's all about just setting up for the Yankees series, then you probably don't bring in Soto here. I love it. I love it. Joel, Shoot, Darren, Midnight, Lounge, you guys are awesome. All right, so this is the pitching change for the Pirates. They're going to bring in Dennis Santana for David Bednar. Single walk homer. you do also have Francisco Alvarez on the bench here. But again, it's like, how much are the Mets playing for the Yankees series and just really... It looks like Marte is going to lead off. So that, to me, that says Mendoza is perfectly content with whatever happens here. Because I think otherwise if this was some weird situation where the game was truly on the line and it meant a lot, 100% Soto comes in here. So if I were bringing in Soto, I'd try him lead off here. You just get the lead, your goal would be to get the leadoff runner on. It's perfect if you want to keep him out of the field if the Mets were to tie it up, because he just gets to stay as the designated hitter the rest of the game. This is the spot. If you're bringing in Soto, you would have brought him in here for Marte. That's in my opinion. That's foul down the third baseline. Snowballs 2 strikes quickly here. Well, Marte isn't, because here comes a single, Midnight says. You know, is there a scenario? So what other scenario do you bring in? You know, can you bring in Soto? Well, there it is. There's a leadoff single by Starling Marte. So far, Midnight, you are 1 for 1. Yeah, all right. All right. So you do have the option here with Torrens coming up. You could bring in Alvarez. Hey. So I guess the good news is you could still... Where else do you bring in Soto? If you see a walk, you're placing a bet on the homer. Oh, he swung at ball 1. Torrens swung at ball 1. So Torrens is going to hit, no Alvarez. Which that makes sense. I think it makes... Torrens fouls it away. Come back to the 9th inning and then burn the witch. Well, it's 0-2. So if Torrens works a walk here, that'll be super impressive. Then you'll know something's up. You'll know Midnight got the script before we did. We got the man bear pig going on here tonight. There's a dribbler foul by Torrens. So where do you go next, right? So, because you got Beatty due up next, you're not going to pinch hit for Beatty. I mean, you could... So Tyrone Taylor and Azocar are both out of the game. I mean, you could pinch hit Soto for Acuna or McNeil. That's popped foul. Looks to be playable. He makes the catch. All right, well, there goes the walk part. So nobody placed your bets quite yet. Oh, sorry. Got to put them in the right order. It's hard. I don't know how to prop him up here. I'm gonna need a... we gotta figure it out. That's why. Brett Beatty had a 106-mile-an-hour line drive off his bat, the last one that just landed in the pitcher's glove. So it's gonna be one out, one on, bottom of the 9th. We're trying. Yes, we can still get the homer here. All right, let's see what we got. I'm just going to have to hold it like that, glue him to the head. That's inside to Beatty. Now, to be fair, it also could be the walk. You know, there could be outs in between the order, too. One ball, one strike to Beatty. Beatty rips it. It's deep. Back to the warning track, and he makes the catch. Beatty gave it a ride. That was a 400-foot fly out. Beatty has hit the ball really well twice tonight. I mean, in Yankee Stadium, that's a home run. Beatty's seeing the ball so well right now. So well. Probably the two hardest hits of the night were by Beatty, and he came in as a pinch hitter. All right. Well, Luis Angel Acuna, probably not a home run hitter, but he could get the walk. But he flies one deep center field, and Bay is going to make the catch. He gave it a ride. Yeah, back-to-back fly balls to the deepest part of the park. That is just the second Mets shutout of the season. Look, it wasn't a great game by the Mets. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. But I'm just going to tell you, it was pretty evident from the start that Mendoza was willing to give up this game to set them up for the Yankees series. And maybe a little bitter taste in their mouth going into it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth considering. With Juan Soto, he keeps getting robbed, and now Beatty and Acuna getting robbed by home runs here in the center field part of the park. You might want to make some changes to this ballpark next season. I don't know what the rules are. Yep, back-to-back homers. I mean, it's 4-3 with one out if we're in Yankee Stadium. And I mean, you could easily cut that wall across. Yep, I agree. And I think the notable things are Clay Holmes went on 4 days rest instead of 5, trying to stretch him out. And Acuna got reps in center field tonight, which is ultimately paving the way for a spot on this roster for Ronnie Mauricio when he is ready to come back. Now, Mauricio's still out a little bit, but the very fact that Mendoza put Acuna out in center field leads me to believe that this is something the Mets would consider. And whether you throw Mauricio at second or third, or give, Lindor the occasional day off at short, I think getting Mauricio's bat into this lineup, and I showed it out. I typed this all out before for those of you who missed it. I see this as a potential starting infield and outfield for the Mets. Alvarez catching, Alonso at first, Beatty or Mauricio at second, Lindor at short, and then the other of Beatty and Mauricio at third, whoever the Mets are more comfortable with. Nimmo in left, Acuna in center, Soto in right, and Vientos designated hitter. I like that lineup. That gives you a bench then of McNeil, Torrens, Tyrone Taylor, and then one of Winker or Marte, probably not both. And then your starting lineup could look like this, or your batting order could be Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Nimmo, Mauricio, Beatty, Alvarez, Acuna. And I think that that's something to very potentially get excited about for this Mets team. Yep. So 162 games, every team has a bad night. Yep. And I believe once we get everybody back, that is true too. And it's like the benefit is, Justin, the benefit is we have pitchers who are doing awesome, and it definitely will, the players that you sign should be tailored to the ballpark that you have. And I don't think we should underestimate that. But man, it's still frustrating. It's still frustrating when that was 3 runs. I mean, it's so deep. I'm just looking at, they're showing an overhead view on, I paused just so you guys can see. Right out here, if you guys can see my mouse, I don't know. But right out here, that's where both of those hits went, to the warning track. If you cut off, if that just goes straight across there, where the warning track goes out, if it instead goes straight across, the score is 4-3 with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. And, I mean, so it's that close. And then you'd have McNeil and Lindor getting up for sure after that with 1 out. So 400 football should always be a home run. Yeah, I did that. I don't know if, would it be a home run in other stadiums? Let's see if there's I don't know if there's a quick calculator. So what do we say that? Do we know what that measurement is to dead center? Is that 405? I'm trying to read that sign. If I go back to, I might be able to actually see it on the. I just want to see what it says.
Before he hits the fence. And he flies one to deep left center field. Back goes Bay.
It's 408.
To the warning track, and he makes.
That was probably like 3. So that one wasn't. Acuna's was not dead center. There was like 390 or so. So there's a cool little. I'll show you guys what I found. Let me share this with you in case, and I'll send you guys the link in case you want to mess around with this more. I always like. So I agree with this, Midnight. Some people are like every baseball stadium should be the same. I agree. I like having a variety in the stadiums in MLB. So I agree with that. So I don't know if this is going to exactly answer your question, but here's the link if you guys want to mess around with this site. I don't know how easy this is to work. I'm not familiar with it. Oh, you might. I guess you have to become a member. I don't know if it's free. I'm not going to do that right now. But you can see on here, like it overlays Comerica Park on Oracle Park. So it would not have been a home run in Comerica Park, but it would have been in San Francisco. That's a home run, I can tell. So sorry, you'll have to see. There's probably other. I'm just doing a quick search. Yeah, in Colorado, both of those would have been home runs, I'm sure, and in Yankee Stadium for sure too. So anyway, you can mess around and if you want it. I have no idea if it's free or paid. Don't know. Examining home run rates by ballpark on Fangraphs. But that looks like a fun website if you wanted to mess around with it. I just have no idea how much a membership, if it's free and you have to sign up. But there you go. If you want to look, at least see if it's something that works for you. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly some. I'm just trying to see if there's like another quick website. Yeah, it's definitely some. I will say that. Definitely some. All right. Well, that being said, I'm not really upset about that. Like, obviously, you always want to win, but I like the pushing of Clay Holmes, and I'm glad that they kept putting him out there. It was 2 bad pitches by Clay Holmes, guys, or else we're going to extra innings in a 0-0 game. Are there offensive issues with this team? Yes, there are. Will those offensive issues be taken care of eventually? I believe they will. But part of it is you had 4 subs in the lineup tonight who are not normally in the lineup, and doing that. So it's like it's called a humidor. Midnight, they put in like a humidor, which I don't know if it makes them more humid. I think it's called a humidor, I believe, because some of those early seasons, man, the balls just flew out of Colorado. So anyway, with that being said, it is 10:25. I'm going to go grab a bathroom break and a quick snack, and I'm going to try to get over to NFL coverage by 10:45. So we're going to do a first look at the Dolphins schedule. We already did a first look on the stream, but we're going to do that. Yeah, and I'm not worried at all. I just keep winning series. That's all that matters. If the Mets win 2 out of every 3 games for the rest of the season, I will be one happy Mets fan and Mets streamer as always. So we're going to do, I'm going to take like a 15-20 minute break. Just get organized on a handful of things here. So let me just wrap this up here really quick. So first of all, appreciate everybody hanging out. If you want to help support this channel and help our growth, then what you can do is you can join the Patreon. I'll throw it up one more time. The link's already in the chat, but There it is up on the screen. I'll post it down here again too. 105 and 106 on those last two hits. Yeah, they were both. And then don't forget, Beatty had a 106 up the middle that literally landed in the catcher's glove. So sometimes it's literally a matter of inches. And again, remember, Pete Alonso got thrown out at second when it looks like they didn't even tag him. There's a lot of things. There's no reason Clay Holmes should have been pitching in a monsoon. I don't know why they didn't pause the game, especially when he already had lost control of the pitch. There are a lot of things that didn't go the Mets' way, so we're good with that. Anyway, if you want to support the channel financially, you can do so through the Patreon. If you don't want to, aren't able to, don't like me for whatever reason, that's fine as well. You don't have to. But for those who are the patrons, I appreciate you so much. It gives me the opportunity to do this. The more patrons, the more content I can create for you guys, and so appreciate it. So shout out to Darren and Bye4 for being the first two patrons for this small channel. Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. Midnight Lounge, Darren, Justin. There's a ton of people out here. Let's see, who else am I missing? D-Rels, Joel, Shoot MDM. I know I'm missing others. Dead Yell, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Atlantic Homes. So many more. Hashman. I mean, it's crazy. Over a couple hours, you lose track of everybody's in. Lane, appreciate you all. Redman, Welsh, Silver Skyscraper, all you guys, appreciate you so much. Have a great night. We're going to go live talking football in about 20 minutes. So around 10:45, we're going to talk football. We're going to do an overview of the Dolphins schedule as well as any other football team you guys want to look over. Probably don't have time to do them all, but the first handful of people who come on and you want me to go over team schedule and do that, we'll do that. We're going to aim for 10:45. As soon as I can get it up, we'll do that. Midnight Large to you as well. And let's talk some football here in a few minutes. Lounge has the stat here really quick. Expected batting average is 930, home run in 7 out of 30 parks. Acuna, 900. Yeah. I mean, they were both, well, I'm surprised that it would not have been a home run in more parks, but maybe it wasn't quite to dead center. Anyway, he still hit the ball well. Beatty seeing the ball well tonight. So thank you, Lounge, for looking that up. I appreciate that. Lounge has the advanced stats coming in strong at the end of the night. Well, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. And as always, let's go Mets, baby!